All right, everybody, welcome back to, of course, the 90210 podcast, a podcast dedicated to showcasing unique, creative, and diverse humans, all of whom are making their mark by living their legacies, visionaries who took and who take daily action. We all have a story. Here we are sharing one of those stories to inspire, move, and empower others. As you know, it's okay to face challenges. It's because we all are on journeys through survival, through thriving, and to succeed in life. Join us as we spotlight today another rock star who navigates the roller coaster of life and who uses his uniqueness to show that if he can do it, so can you. So, as you can see, we have somebody already with us. This is Dr. Jeffrey Benton. And as you know, I don't like to introduce people because we want to know about the real you. Dr. Jeffrey Benton, welcome, first of all, to our podcast.
Thank
And
you.
secondly, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know the public figure, I know the Houdini of healing, but who is Jeffrey? What is your story?
Not many people ask me about my story. Um, I'm a doctor, uh, which is part of the healing hat. So they come to me with health questions, and I come up with amazing answers and miraculous healing experiences. So, who am I? I am a multifaceted individual that likes to fix things. I am a tinkerer. Um, My father was a tinkerer as well, and he had a background in electronics. So as a young boy, we were putting together Heathkit electronic models and learning about basic electronics. I was born and brought up in Los Angeles. My parents met in Los Angeles. They are both from Europe,
Mm.
and they both went through the Holocaust individually, and they both made it out from the Holocaust. So they both experienced atrocities you would never want to experience. My father was at, I believe it was Auschwitz and Treblinka, which
Oh,
are
wow.
many people don't make it out once they're in there.
Yes.
His intuition told him to always volunteer for some sort of work.
Hmm.
And as a result of that, let's always get something done, let's volunteer. That kept him alive because there's the work line and there's the other line.
Hmm.
So my father had a very strong work ethic.
Hmm.
They met in Los Angeles, actually over a broken TV. My father was a TV repairman at the time, and he did a service call. And my mother, who was staying at her sister's house at the time, that's where they met. So I was imbued with the talented skills of, hey, how does this work? How do we
Hmm.
fix it? And how do you make it better?
Mm.
Before I became a doctor, I was an automotive technician. So that means I worked on cars.
Wow.
So I still use that skill today, um, saving myself hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I don't go as in depth as I might have before. I mean, I rebuilt my own engine, oh, I don't know, 2 decades, 2.5 decades ago. So I don't have the time for that, but I'm still quite knowledgeable. And for example, I have a Toyota Prius, and I have Volvo SUV, and
Oh, a
they're a little bit
Volvo,
old,
Swedish. Okay.
Swedish. I think I consider Volvos to be the European version of a reliable Japanese car. I mean,
Uh-huh.
of the different European makes and models, BMW, Mercedes, etc. Um, I sort of believe that Volvo is one of the more reliable brands. And however, since it's a European car, it's still difficult to work on.
Okay.
Yeah, something that a relatively simple fix. Um, for example, I was struggling a few months ago on front wheel drive cars. There is an axle boot from the transmission transfer case to the wheels, and that boot gets old and cracked. And what's
Mm-hmm.
inside that is grease that keeps the gears the gears turning. And
Okay.
when it cracks, the oil runs out, and you should be able to easily put another boot on.
Right.
And not on this Volvo. I could not find a boot an aftermarket boot that would be a split boot that it actually has a seam on it that fits it around the axle
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
zip it up. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. They actually recommend that you just get an entire new axle
Oh my goodness.
whenever that little boot cracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just frustrating. Why spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars whenever you can spend, $25 and some grease? So that's an
Wow.
example of
Yeah.
Volvo not making life easy, because a lot of the Japanese cars and American cars, you can find an aftermarket boot with a seam in it that lets you easily get under the car and put it on. And that's the way it goes in life. Some things are easy and some things aren't. So
That is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that is so fascinating. Probably because I know how you explain your special skills nowadays, with the electric circuits and so forth. So it's like
yeah,
really coming together for me, trying to figure out how things work, tinkering as you said it. But your parents, that is an amazing story also. Not just the survival, which of course, very, very grateful for that, but how they met. It's kind of interesting. So,
yeah, yeah.
but you did
Yeah.
say that was also in Los Angeles. So how did your parents get to Los Angeles, if I understood you correctly?
So after they were liberated, after the
Mm-hmm.
thank America for coming in and helping to liberate the war. My mother went to Israel
Mm-hmm.
and lived in Israel for a few years, and my father went through Ellis Island.
Okay.
He was in Buffalo, New York for a while, and my father's sister, who also went through the war,
Mm-hmm.
um, reached out to him, and she was living in Los Angeles, and says,
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes
"Oh,
sense.
come on over. I got space for you." So
Yeah.
he headed west that way, and then my mother's sister, who was also made it through the war, settled and married in Los Angeles, called was in contact with my mother, and she told my mother to come over to Los Angeles, and I have a space for you.
Mm.
So
Yes. Okay. Okay. So
yeah,
a lot about the togetherness and the support. So
yeah. I
how do you feel about
want to share with you one thing.
yes,
There's a lot of Holocaust museums around the country.
yes.
You can see a picture of my sister. The Nazis had all these women with shaved heads standing in the cold, shivering. My mother, Oliver Shalom, um, you can see her in that picture.
Hmm.
Standing, she was tall and thin and lanky. In fact, she was in New York and went to a
Hmm.
museum and she saw that picture of herself, and there was another museum attendee,
Hmm.
and she sort of pointed out, sort of nonchalantly, "Oh, you know that picture over there?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "Well, that's me. That's me in that picture." Completely
Mm.
stunned this other Holocaust museum attendee.
Yes.
Like, what? Like you are living history
Yes,
of that.
exactly.
So,
Yes. Wow. Wow. That is fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. So
mhm.
that's a very I don't know what the word is. I'm looking up there because I always get inspiration when I look away from the camera. Okay. So it's a very deep, I think that's it's a very deep background, and it seems to me that the tinkering, but potentially also your desire or your calling to help others may be related to that. So at what point in your life then, after tinkering and figuring out, how Volvos work, at what point did you decide that you wanted to be a doctor?
Good question. So I actually took classes in automotive technology at Santa
Mm-hmm.
Monica City College. And I also, at that time, was completing my degree in biology at Cal State Northridge.
To
So
get
there,
both at the same time,
yeah,
simultaneously.
yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. Okay.
I was attending school at California State Northridge, and the city college, provided hands-on training, and they had a full automotive department. They don't have it anymore.
Okay.
It's a shame. And I wanted to take physics, so I took a course of physics
Mm-hmm.
at the city college, and then I also was able to take some other classes. So I took automotive
Yeah.
classes, and I
Wow.
also took some automotive classes during summer school.
Mm-hmm.
So I took welding, general automotive technology, brakes, and then actually engine rebuilding, because that's where I rebuilt the engine to my 68 Dodge Coronet. So
Mm-hmm.
we pulled the engine. I had to take it apart. I had to put it back together, and it was like the last day of school. The last day of school, I drove the car out. So, um, and I was always interested in fixing things. I think
Yeah.
the body is the most complex. You know,
Okay.
cars can be frustrating, but there's a roadmap of electrical circuits, much more complicated today than back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, you have a good circuit tester. You have computers that talk to each other, tells you sort of where to go, give you some clues, and you switch parts out, and voila, it'll clear it up. And the human body has circuits on the physical realm, on the
Mm-hmm.
emotional realm, on the spiritual realm, past lives,
Mm-hmm.
potentially future lives, which is very rare, but sometimes people project their issues into the future.
Mm-hmm.
It then alters, their potential present course.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everything I just shared with is relatively invisible, except you have an ache and a pain, but what's really the cause of it?
Mm-hmm.
Before I jumped on the Zoom call with you, um, there was a podcast from another doctor who was
Mm-hmm.
talking, revisiting metabolic syndrome, which is the catch-all term for people who don't digest food well, who have insulin resistance. And part of his spiel is he's promoting some nutritional advice and a product that he likes. He goes, well, this
Okay.
gets you to the core of the issue,
Right.
and I disagree with that. It's not. That's not the core. It needs to be dealt with because it deals with what's going on the physical, on the microscopic level.
Right.
Why is the insulin not? Why is it being blocked? Why is it not attracting what it needs to attract?
Mm-hmm.
But look deeper. Is there
Yeah.
an emotional issue uh, that caused your insulin and pancreatic system to turn off, or to, if not turn off, then to downregulate, to minimize? that gets us to more of the core. Whenever someone comes in with a symptom, which happened this week, you know, I'm not sure if you experience it in Germany, but in America, like this past week, like everybody got sick. I mean,
Yes, yes, yes.
was it?
And I want to stop you there. Let me stop you there. Let's take our little break, and then I would love for you to share more about this because yes, in the last week and a half, everybody's gotten sick. It's
Everybody got sick.
yes.
Right.
Yes. So, yes, thank you for bringing that up. And I apologize to all of the viewers and the listeners, but we are going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a very short break to bring you one of our sponsors. You know, that's what we always do. And check them out when you have the chance, but then come right back, just about a minute or so. Stick around, and we'll be right back with, of course, Dr. Jeffrey Benton.
90210 Enterprise Gateway Access, where visionaries connect and opportunities ignite. Step into a world where ambition meets access. At 90210 Enterprise Gateway Access, you're not just joining a network, you're entering a realm of elite collaboration, innovation, and growth. Whether you're scaling new heights, forming strategic alliances, or seeking transformative insights, this is where momentum begins. Connect with industry leaders, unlock exclusive programs, accelerate your success. Unlock $1,000 worth of value for just $99. First 100 sign-up will be labeled as founding members. The future is built on connections. Start forging yours today. Elevate, connect, succeed. Your gateway to what's next starts here.
And welcome back, everyone. I know you cannot wait to hear what else Dr. Benton has to say since he was just talking before the break about all of a sudden everybody is getting sick. So, as you know, here on our 90210 podcast, we do showcase unique, creative, and diverse humans. And Dr. Benton certainly fills that category in more than one aspects. Dr. Benton, I did interrupt you quite rudely before, but would you share more with us about you were talking about first about insulin and how the whole core needs to be worked, and then you said this week everybody's gotten sick. And here in Europe, well, in Germany at least, well, Europe, it's been like the last week and a half. So, what do you make of that?
I'm suspicious of some big government turning on some machine or shifting some frequencies that our bodies do not like.
Mm,
As a result of that, the symptoms of a cold or the symptoms of a toxic overload are the same. There's sniffling, there's sneezing, there's decreased energy. I'll relate a story.
hmm
I have a friend and a patient of mine years ago. She got married and she was supposed to go on her honeymoon, and
hmm
she was suffering from just a headache so atrocious that she actually came into the office with an ice bag on her head. Says, "Can you do anything for me? I'm supposed to go on my honeymoon. I feel horrible. I can't, what is it?"
Yeah.
So what I do is I ask the body. I use muscle
Yes.
test, also known as kinesiology. Well, what is it? And it wasn't a virus. It wasn't a bacteria.
hmm
It was she ate something bad. It was I guess a bad food allergy.
hmm
It really just racked her system. And once we acknowledged what it was and probably gave her a nutrition supplement, but there's also reflexes on the body to hit the reset button.
Right.
She got better and she cleared up within the day and she was able to go on her honeymoon relatively symptom free.
Uh-huh.
So just giving someone a supplement, like walking into your health food store with symptoms and they say, well, try this and try this.
hmm
Never do that because just because yes, we know that there's a correlation of this supplement and these symptoms. Is it what your body needs?
Mm-hmm.
Is you're not feeling well? Is it really a bacteria or a virus, or is it another 3G attack? Is
Mm-hmm.
it um, you know a COVID related energetic attack? Is it a
Mm-hmm.
toxin from like Dr. Artis talks about um, a, the basic platform of a lot of these technologies are like Gila monster venom or poisonous snake venoms. Is it a
Yeah.
toxicity to the microscopic um, toxins? And
Mm-hmm.
that's a toxin. That's the body trying to get rid of a toxin, not a bacteria or a virus.
Mm-hmm.
5G has its own issues. So how do you reset the body? You really have to ask. And yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
like to use the
Yes.
analogy of an electrician. I'm like the body's electrician. You got to go, you don't have an electrician come to the house and there's no power and
Mm-hmm.
without testing says, okay, here's the issue. Let's try this.
Right,
That's what
right,
that's what a
right.
supplement manufacturer does. Here, just try this. I mean, sorry, a lot of doctors do that with drugs.
Yes,
Just try
yes,
this.
yes. Try
See
it.
how it
Right,
does.
right. Yes, yes. We'll see if it works. Yes.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, why don't we test first? Why don't we test the circuits? Which circuit needs
Mm-hmm.
the attention? What is it your body needs?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get more to the core issue. So just like we have a very knowledgeable individual he was giving this course on metabolic syndrome. Here,
Mm-hmm.
try this. How do you know that's exactly what your body needs? Okay, so the fact that he has a higher ratio of success using that. Now, not to mention it's got a little bit of an MLM uh, financial support built into it. So
Mm-hmm.
you might want to push it there. That's why I don't like MLMs, multi-level structures of
Mm-hmm.
receiving remuneration. I don't mind. Just make sure your body needs it.
Yes.
There's in A4M just happened this past weekend, and A4M was in Vegas. It's an anti-aging. Actually, I think the American Association of Anti-Aging Medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the biggest and brightest come and bring out. Here's the next and latest and greatest and peptides, et cetera, et cetera. I don't. I'm trying to figure out where the peptides belong because they are signaling molecules. We need them.
Mm-hmm.
But then why did your body stop listening to
Mm-hmm.
the signal?
Mm-hmm.
I think the core issues is still your electrical system or in your body, it's the nervous system.
Yeah.
Why? What if we can just reset the connection so your cells and receptors can now get the signal
Okay.
instead
So,
of
so do
just
you mean
giving
like,
peptides?
nowadays with the cars, what we have is, you have something malfunctioning and you need to take the whole motherboard out and make sure everything, and then you plug it back in. So, or with the computer, you say, reset. So is that how you would describe it?
Sort of, but it's not easy to pull a motherboard out of our body.
True.
In a car, easy. We have the cars now have several computers. There's a computer
Mm-hmm.
for control, the air conditioning system. Is it cold in the front? Is it cold in the back? Do you want it warmer? Do I want it colder? There's the whole navigation computer system. There's the whole engine has its sensors built in of how warm is the temperature, what's
Mm-hmm.
the airflow pressure, all these sensors and all these inputs, and the body has the same thing because we have
Mm-hmm.
sensors all over our body to tell us, are we hungry? Are we tired? Are
Mm-hmm.
we thirsty? We have sensors. Is there an issue? The shoulder hurts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's a symptom. The shoulder hurts. Why does it hurt? Is it related
Mm-hmm.
to digestion or is it related to a neck injury, a whiplash injury?
Mm-hmm.
And I do a lot of work also with people with concussion. I had another patient of mine came in yesterday. She was snowboarding at Mountain High, a local mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and a reckless snowboarder behind her nailed her, and they went
Mm-hmm.
tumbling down the hill for a little bit, and they finally untangled themselves. And she had a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
headache. She had a rib issue.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, so it's sort of like Humpty Dumpty. Life throws these curveballs at you.
yeah.
So she knows the work that I do. She goes, Dr. Ben, I got to see you again because I just saw her a week ago, and usually I see
Oh,
her every month, once every 2 months. Because no, I got to see you again. I'm just all twisted up,
well,
and I
that
went.
says something. The word itself is
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So I took the time and reset her, unwound her. So I used a combination of red light laser, kinesiology, the emotional trauma release technique. I tell you, that's just the more I use it, the more I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You use muscle testing to identify there's some
Right.
stuck trauma here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the emotional trauma release technique releases it. And
Mm-hmm.
we had to go through her. She had pain. Let me see if I can stand up a little bit. Right here in her sternum.
Yeah.
After we cleared that, then it like pain like migrated, but really went to like the left side,
Uh-huh.
right, the left side of her rib cage, and we had to work on that, and just a lot better.
Yeah.
But how would
Fascinating.
you know,
Fascinating.
uh, it is. I know it's so fun.
I know.
It's so fun.
Well,
In
I mean,
fact,
I love it. I love it because, I don't do as much as you, but
right.
when we're thinking about energy healings, figuring out what's going on with the body, holographic imaging, all those things really look at what else is happening. It's not just the symptom, but what is the root cause of the symptoms? And the way that you explain it with the, electric output and the circuit, it does make it easier for a lot of people to understand, I think, how it's all connected and um, I'm using your words, reset or adjust what is happening in the body, by not just handing out medication to subdue what is happening, but to actually identify and, I'm going to use this word, eradicate the root cause of what people are experiencing. Um, Now, when you work with people, I don't mean on a financial level, but why do you do it? Like, what do you get out of it? Why do it? Because there are a lot of people who don't understand exactly what you're doing.
Why do I do what I do? It's a great
Uh-huh.
question. Well, one, it's when I'm one-on-one with a patient, and when we help clear out some dark issue that no one else has really been
Mm-hmm.
able to properly address.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a feeling of accomplishment. Everybody likes,
Yes.
excuse me, a feeling of accomplishment, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
these video games have got our youth because they get immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm.
So I get, relatively speaking, immediate gratification in the office on certain things, and certain things not. Some say, look, yeah, you're not responding as you should, and we have to send them out for imaging. There's something going on. But a lot of people get relatively, people have left some of their walking sticks, some of their canes at
Mm-hmm.
the office. They feel better. They don't need to have it anymore. So I don't need to use this. I feel much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
sharing that, two of us get to feel this, myself as well as the patient. Oh, wow. They feel better. You can't trick that sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Trick, it's been hurting for so long, and then I do my thing, and I can now try it again. And they're afraid to
Mm-hmm.
lift their neck or move the shoulder, and they do it, and they have that look of wonderment to go,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I can move this, and I do a lot of that live on stage. I've done that
Yeah.
several times, and it's so fun. It's just a lot of fun to
Yeah.
but also I'm trying to educate the world. This is what healing looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily take 20 sessions. You just have to ask the right questions, and then we can get on to the next issue we have.
Mm-hmm. I love
Um,
that. I love that.
yeah, yeah. So my
Thank
my
you.
calling, yeah, my higher calling is sharing this healing technology, which has always been around, with the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh,
Yeah. Fascinating. I know there's a lot more to talk about. We might have you back to dive even deeper into this, but I'm sure that a lot of our listeners, viewers, depending on where people find our podcast, are actually interested in getting in touch with you. So if you were to be asked one thing, one site or one way to get in touch with you, which one would that be? What is the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, if they go to um, www.drjeff360, so DRJEFF360.com. So that lets you connect up with me. You get my office information, get it downloaded
Mhm.
right to your phone, connect up with me on the different social media platforms. There's a link to my website.
Yeah.
So that's probably the easiest way. One of the easiest ways. I'll also give you my office main phone number.
Hmm.
It's area code 323-297-0566.
Awesome. And I'll put all of that in the description for this podcast as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Benton. I'm sure we'll have you back. I appreciate your time. And also, particularly, I appreciate you in the first segment sharing so much about your background. I think that that helps a lot of people really connect with you. And it is the story, of course, that helps us realize if someone else can do it and can overcome what your parents overcame, what your family has overcome, then maybe my life ain't so bad. No, maybe I can do it too. So thank you, Dr. Benton, and thank you for watching, for listening. Thank you for joining the podcast today. We will be back, as you know, we try to come to you as often as we can. You can subscribe, you can download, or you can connect to all of our podcasts on our YouTube channel. That's the easiest way, or of course on all the streaming platforms. So thank you, everybody. Join us again, and please make sure to also look at 90210 Enterprise and our community where we elevate your life and your legacy today. Thank you, everyone. Bye.